to fail or cause problems, it will inevitably lead to such ends. The ongoing nationwide protests over economic hardship appears to be suffering that fate in fulfillment of several warnings against the exercise. The protests seem to have been hijacked as they led to violence and destructions in many states like Kano, Borno, Yobe, and others. So, what does this portend for the future of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Joining us for this discussion is the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo. Thank you for joining us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Last minute, the government tried for a kind of pushback to dissuade the youths from registering their displeasure through protests. But they started the protest yesterday. What do you make of the whole event?
Well, first of all, I think there's a point of correction there. The government never tried to dissuade or deprive people of their right of airing their opinions. It's a right, but what the government tried to do, which is the core responsibility of government, is to ensure that there is peace, and of course that security of lives and property are actually secured, because the basic responsibility of government is to protect lives and property. So what government was concerned about and what government was interested in is about securing the lives of people, regardless of where they are. So that's what government tried to do. Government never tried to shut people out from airing their opinions. But the issue is that government has a responsibility in ensuring that there is a strategic balance between airing your opinion, between you expressing yourself, and of course, the protection and preservation of the right of the other people.
Now, looking at what has happened, looking back, would you say political motives pushed some of the protesters to actually take to the street? Would you say some people were actually behind the carnage that we saw yesterday?
Yeah, thank you. This was what the government has always been saying. Most times something might start off from a patriotic zeal and might end up in a catastrophic note, because people will always take advantage. People with ill motives, people with political motives, people with different intentions. I sincerely believe, this was what we tried to say, that when a crisis starts, you never know how it ends. And of course, it is difficult for you to control the crowd. For instance, I'll give you an example. I saw a video yesterday of somebody cutting street light. How does street light, what has that got to do with the expression of grievance against hunger? And I also said this on a sister station some couple of days ago, that when people talk about bad governance, we understand that, yes, the president, don't forget that the president is a Democrat. This is the first time since, I think, after the First Republic, because in the First Republic, we had the Nnamdi Azikiwes of this world, we had the Tafawa Balewa, we had the Sardauna, we had the Obafemi Awolowos of this world in government. These were people that fought for the independence of Nigeria. But since the First Republic, this is the first time that we're having a president who himself is a product of struggle, who himself is a Democrat over the years. Don't forget that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he was not just a senator, he stood against the military. He fought for the right of the people. He fought for the emancipation of the Nigerian people over the time. And the president, being a Democrat that he is a listening person. He wants to listen to Nigerians. And when you look at it, even before this protest, this is not a president that waits to be told the right thing to do before he does it. I'm not saying this because I'm a minister in his cabinet. Let's look, for example, look at the Northwest Development Commission that this government has been able to sign. Nobody is talking about that. That brings development down to the grassroots in the Northwest. Look at the Southeast Development Commission, because the Southeast region, some analysts have been talking about infrastructural and developmental exclusion of the Southeast region. This particular president has signed that into law. It is not a matter of the law. These commissions have been set up now to complement what we have in the Northeast Development Commission and, of course, the Niger Delta Development Commission. So the president has been able to do this to further bring development down. So that is not bad governance to me. And secondly, we must also understand that how many kilometers of road has this administration approved and how many kilometers of roads are presently ongoing. You need to see what was approved in the last FEC, which as to one of the key roads. This is the road that moves all the way to Sokoto. How many dams are we going to have? How many kilowatts of energy are we going to produce? How many irrigation centers will this bring to us? This is a president that is creating long-term solutions to long-term problems. I will tell you something, my brother. One of the things that I see is that because of the fear of what happened yesterday and today is the reason why presidents from inception have been somehow finding it difficult to take some bold decisions. Because why did I say so? One, if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had not met subsidy, this issue of subsidy removal wouldn't have been there. And you saw what happened in the last FEC. It's not just about removing subsidy. In the Gulf of Guinea, we produce roughly 5 million barrels of crude every day in the Gulf of Guinea. Guess what? We still import refined product. What has the president done now, which was approved in the last week, is to ensure that Nigeria becoming the refining capital of crude for the entire West African and the Gulf of Guinea region. If that happens, I said it during the briefing, the job that our youth, over the years, that our Nigerian youths have, as we speak, in the downstream sector, is probably just as petrol attendant. This is not a president that wants to leave that sort of legacy for my generation. This is a president that has now said, okay, let us remove the dollar as the trading currency for refineries located in Nigeria. That is an incentive. That alone reduces 30%, roughly over $7 billion away from the forex demand of Nigeria. With that, the pressure on Naira reduces. Naira will stabilize. And he did not just say pay in Naira. He also went ahead to say, don't worry, we will peg this rate for 6 to 9 months so that at least there is predictability. For the purpose of planning, investors can come. Nigeria can become a refining center. If we have refineries in Nigeria, the issue of high petroleum price, because when you bring PMS to Nigeria, you pay for freight, you pay for insurance, you pay for all these things add up to the landing cost, which will be passed to the end users. Now, by setting this up in Nigeria, and thank goodness, the Dangote refinery is as good as ready. So very soon in the next couple of months, the downstream sector, there will be activities. Jobs will be created. Prices of things will come down. So this is a president that is, I just use that as an example. He's a president that is busy creating, yes?
Nigerians, they are not interested in the long-term benefits. They are not interested in, the big sounding figures and everything. Nigerians are asking that we want to go to the market and buy tomato at a lesser price. We want to buy pepper. We want to buy rice. We are starving. We are hungry. That's what Nigerians, they're not demanding for too much. They are saying food that we eat every day. It has become a big problem.
How do we bring down food prices?
Let me say this. Let me say this. I get where you're going to. I said something. The president is a listening president. The president is a Democrat. It will be, if anybody thinks that the president is not being responsive to the yearnings of Nigerians, then the person must be very uncharitable to the man. Look at his antecedents. And for you to know this, the president is balancing short-term, giving short-term cushion effects, as well as providing long-term solution. So the solution on the table is a hybrid solution. The solution on the table, for instance, now they have removed we have removed taxes, import levies, and co from what they call food, from drugs, pharmaceuticals, and etc. We are trying to make sure that we are able to get this, what they call, to Nigerians in the short term. Why in the long term, these plans of the period, these plans of the president can go through the gestation period and, of course, create a permanent solution to the problem. So what we are saying is this: the president has never said Nigerians do not have a right to express their minds. No, he's a Democrat. I keep saying this. Look at his attitude, look at all his lies. He's a Democrat. And the president is a man in his 70s. You can look at his attitude from beginning up to this time. You will know that this is a man that has always been on the side of the people. He will not get to this stage and shut his doors against the people or against opinions. All the government is pleading with our youth for, and our people, is for us to give us a bit of time. The government is working hard to solve some of these problems, both in the short term and in the long term. As much as we understand that the systemic and institutional problems of Nigeria are long-term problems, and you need, of course, long-term solutions. But in the interim, the economic team of the president himself, being an economist, the president himself, being a financial expert, is working around the clock to create the temporary relief, pending when the permanent solutions will be able to find a proper footing in Nigeria. So we're pleading with Nigerians to say, please, just be patient. President Tinubu is working so hard. President is 14 months old in government. His cabinet is just 11 months. Please, we cannot realistically expect President Tinubu to solve a 64-year problem in 14 months. Just give us time. The government is working round the clock. I can tell you the truth. When they talk about bad governance, I personally have said this. I don't know who couched that, but if the issue of student loan is bad governance, I do not know how the issue of, within my purview, people will tell you, even for passport, they used to pay humongous amount. People pay used to pay 200,000-300,000. People used to wait for months. Today, people do not need to do that. That is not bad governance. I will also tell you, the Lagos Calabar Road is not bad governance. What is going on with our downstream sector is not bad governance. Of course, there are hitches. We are not denying the fact that there are hitches, but like what I always say, there is no surgery, no life-saving surgery will come without pain. That is why this is an opportunity for a statesman to take decisions, to be bold enough to take decisions that will have long-term gains while providing temporary cushion for the immediate. And the president is providing this temporary cushion. The president is also providing long-term solutions to our problems. So as a youth, I want to plead with Nigerians, especially with people of my generation, to please give this government an opportunity to solve these problems. Give this government an opportunity to be able to put Nigeria firmly and finally and fully on the path of economic recovery, on the path of economic greatness. Our population is increasing. At what rate is our GDP increasing? We need a president who will be able to sit down, remove these bottlenecks, limiting the growth of Nigeria. We need a president that will not make Nigeria the consumption headquarter of Africa, but also the production headquarter of Africa. And that is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is trying to do. Production in terms of our downstream, our petroleum industry, production in terms of our agricultural sector, production in terms of our health sector. He wants a scenario where a child goes to the university to study petrochemical engineering, and he doesn't end up just as a fuel attendant. He doesn't want that. He wants a child who goes to uni to study petrochemical engineering to have an opportunity of being able to actually practicalize what he learned. Those opportunities can only come when we open the economy, when we remove the factors limiting the growth of Nigeria. So we as a government, we are pleading with Nigeria that yes, we understand what you are going through. Yes, we feel the pain. Yes, we can feel your pulse. You have the protesters have spoken. And government this is a listening government. We have picked the points, but the simple truth is this. The points we have picked are not too at variance with the plans of Mr. President. It's just a matter of time for these plans to materialize. Mr. President didn't wait for protests to be able to come up with the student loan. He didn't wait for anybody to protest. Mr. President didn't wait for protests to remove taxes, levies, and co from even the food items. Mr. President didn't wait for protests to be able to, for instance, in Ministry of Interior. I'll give you an example. I tell you, when we came on board, these people are Nigerians. We met huge backlog of promotion of officers. Some people stagnated for 10, 12, 8, 6 years. But just last year, when Mr. President came, Mr. President promoted 32,000 officers in one day. That has direct and indirect effect on nothing less than 150,000 people. He didn't wait for protests to do that. I also tell you, when Mr. President came on board, what did Mr. President meet? Mr. President meet a scenario whereby there was no peculiar allowance, there was no rent allowance for officers. These are Nigerians. Mr. President did not wait for protests to do that. Mr. President did not wait for protests to be able to subsidize even dialysis services for kidney related issues. Mr. President did not wait for protests to be able to invest massively in terms of road infrastructure. Mr. President did not wait for protests to be able to come up with humanitarian services in terms of cash transfer programs. Mr. President did not wait for protests to be able to create set up the strategy through Ministry of Communication Technology for 3 million jobs of our youth.
We'll allow you to go on and on
with Nigerians.
Let's get all right. Okay.
Thank you. In addition to...
So we are pleading with Nigerians to please be patient. The closest, let me tell you, the darkest part of the night is closest to daybreak. We are at the verge when stakeholders, statesmen, patriots must unite, come together, support the administration. Election has come, election has gone. This is the time for us to unite. It's a challenging time for Nigeria. It's a challenging time for the whole world. This is the time that we must all unite behind the flag, behind Mr. President, provide solutions, create opportunity of engagement, create opportunity of idea sharing, create opportunity for nation building, knowing that it's a joint task.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Minister. We know you can talk on and on if we do not comment. I have 2 questions for you. The first, you are one of the ministers who have been in the public space communicating your programs. We know you've done some transformational work in your place. And I know for a fact that there are a couple of ministers who are also doing well in their respective places. Why is the government not bridging the gap, engaging stakeholders, and being able to talk to the people?
Information.
Why are they not passing the right information at the right time? And how can your government do better? Number 1 question. The second question is this. Nigerians are saying, we can sacrifice, we can wait for this gestation period to run through. But they say, while we are waiting, those in government are not waiting. We have not blocked the waste in governance. It is still business as usual. Now, how would the government assure the people, or being able to ensure that the people are seeing that the government is also paying some sacrifices, so that we know that it is not only the people that are tightening their belts, that also the government officials are tightening their belts? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, my brother. Let me tell you, there are certain things I will say that even though I am not authorized to, but because of this moment, I will have to mention some things. Let me tell you, I am not support. It's not just about me defending the government. No, it's about me stating the obvious. The answer to number one solution is that this is a government that believes that actions should speak. This is not a government that is built on the principle of propaganda. This government came to fall based on integrity to tell Nigerians the way things are, and obviously for Nigerians to be able to reap the dividend of democracy. It's not we have refused to run a propaganda machine. We believe that the fund that will be used to run a propaganda machine will also create opportunities for Nigerians. We use those funds effectively. So the government has been working, as you said. So, but we have refused to engage in propaganda, and this government will not engage in propaganda. That is number one. Then number two, I want you to know is that the things that the government. No, before I go to your number two question, let me also say this: the things the president has done, a lot of these things are visible. Kolawole, let me ask you. This particular democracy, this republic is 25 years old. I know you know that. Tell me from 1999 how the president that has come forward with the gut of granting local government financial autonomy. We've never had it. It is the local government that is closest to the people. Most of this anger that people are shouting, President Tinubu, this is Nigeria we have 3 tiers of government. But the one that is closest to the people is local government. President Tinubu gave the autonomy. That was a huge political decision by the president. He did that. You can't take that away. We don't need propaganda for people to know that. That's number one. Number two, as we have said, most of the things that this government have done, they are in the form. We have a minister of information who believes in saying things the way they are, and which he's been professional. So I'm not here to defend an officer or not, but I give it to you. This is a government that believes in action more than words. And you cannot blame us because we decided to do things differently. That is why I call the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a government of business unusual, not business as usual. Then that leads me to your number two question. I will tell you very clearly. Your number two question was about people not sacrificing. I'll tell you that this particular government has been sacrificing. As much as we are not here to justify that, but this is the wrong notion that has been peddled by some people within, some people in the media space to be able to discredit President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I will give you an example. Not less than 2 occasions has memo that has to deal with procurement, even from the presidency, come to Federal Executive Council, and the president will say, step it down. No. I can tell you this. And any member of FEC can confirm this, and the records of FEC are there. This president said, no, you cannot bring this. And also, number two, since we became minister, I will tell you, there is no minister that can tell me, maybe people say, oh, they get car allowance, they get this, and etc. Well, I don't want to go too deeply into that. But please, I believe you are investigative journalists. Go into the details of payments that public officers, especially ministers, and even that has gotten since this particular government came on board. You will appreciate that, of course, it is not exactly what people think. But the bottom line, that is not even the point. The bottom line for us is that, does this government understand the problems of the people? The answer is a yes. Is this president, is he sympathetic? Is he willing? Does he have the intention to solve these problems? The answer is yes. Is he putting the right structure on ground? The answer is yes. In the do we have long-term solutions to these problems? Of course, as you can see, the answer is yes. Does the president have short-term pushing effects for some of these problems? Yes, the answer is yes. But I will plead with you. I sincerely think that this is an opportunity for us to appeal to all, regardless of political affiliation, to understand that for us to have political affiliations, there must first of all be a country. This is a moment when statesmen will be made. Okay. This is a moment when we, all stakeholders, should unite under the banner of Nigeria, kill behind the president, and know fully well that we run a constitutional democracy, and we give him all the support. The president, sorry, let me make this point. It's very important. The president has never shut anybody out of engagement. The president has never discarded any constructive engagement. We have a president that does not claim to know everything, to be an island of everything. This is a president that is listening. Why don't we channel this agitation towards meaningful engagement? Let's prefer solutions. Let's sit down and talk. Every war, even the world war, ended on the round table. Okay. Why can't we use the round table as a first option rather than as a last option?
Okay, Honorable Minister, I know that the government plans to import food on a large scale, you know, to try and bring down the prices of food items in the market. How soon can we begin to see changes in terms of high food prices? How soon can we begin to see changes? Then, briefly, let me say, there are those who are saying that this president has been held hostage. Yes. As somebody who works with him, what can you say about the claim that the president is aloof, that the president has been held hostage?
How accessible?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me say this. The first question, I will tell you very soon, by the grace of God. I know the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Agriculture, they're working around the clock, and I'm not in a position to be able to, because I won't come here and give an information I'm not directly involved, you know, or that I can bet my name on. I can't give you a specific, but I know that very soon from the last Federal Executive Council, a lot is being done. The president is not sleeping. He's working so hard to make sure that there are temporary reliefs while we await permanent solutions, you know, long-term solutions to our long-term problems. So you can be rest assured the president is working round the clock. Then when you say if anybody says the president has been held hostage, I tell you, it means you don't know President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It means you don't know him. I will tell you, 2 days ago I was with the president on an issue that has to do with correctional service. And I tell you, for more than 30 minutes, the president engaged me intellectually. He engaged me to the extent that I had the opportunity of learning a lot on that particular day from him. This is a president that is accessible. There's nobody working with the president that will tell you he's not accessible. For instance, I didn't book appointment. It was just that day that something came up in the correctional service. And I picked my phone, called and immediately come. The president opened his doors immediately in less than 5 minutes. If there's anything to discuss, the president is a great listener. And for somebody like me, I tell people, I am 42 years old, for crying out loud. I'm a young man. I've had the privilege of my life being mentored and learning from the president, because I have, what have I led? Open door policy, constant engagement, intellectual engagement. These are things I have learned from the president. And I will tell you, if he has one ambition from what I have seen, there's only one ambition that I see that the president has. The president wants to be the transformer. He wants to be the person that God will use to rewrite the story of Nigeria and put Nigeria on the path of economic prosperity. Every country has theirs. China, I said it on your sister station. China has it. You can't talk about Singapore without Lee Kuan Yew. Anyway, I said we have to leave it there. This president, before the end of this tenure, Nigerians will look at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and know that God has brought this man to be the Lee Kuan Yew, the transformer of Nigeria. I tell you, short-term solutions will come very soon, and long-term solutions that will create the Nigeria of our dreams.
We pray to see that very soon.
Amen.
We thank you, Minister of Interior, Olubumi Tunji-Ojo. Thank you for your time. Wow, what a time.
Yeah.
Today?
Yes. I wish other ministers can defend the president.
Yes.
Some of them,
that is
out of 48,
cannot even talk about their ministry. Some of them can't go to. Wait.
Of course.
See, some of them can't even go to their regions to market the president. Not to talk about what they are doing. They are tongue-tied. You reach out to them, they are not interested in granting interviews. And they can't defend the president where it matters the most.
Yeah.
So that's why I give him credit that he's come out blazing, defending his boss. But we still have unfinished business.